Did you guys see those adorable pictures of childhood sweethearts? England captain Harry Kane and his wife Kate just after the game last night. Oh, so cute. So do you ever wonder what life would be like if, like Harry and Kate, you stayed with your childhood sweetheart, Coleen?
Could we just point out that he's not his childhood sweetheart? That's him with David Beckham when he was young. Look, Harry Kane on the right.
Oh, yeah.
Isn't that a lovely photo?
That is gorgeous.
So yeah. That was his childhood hero as opposed to sweetheart.
Thanks for pointing that out, because I was a bit confused.
Yeah.
I've got to be honest. Oh, if I'd stayed with my childhood sweetheart, well, who knows where I'd be sitting now, let me tell you. Because, you know, I was with my first love for about 4 years.
Oh, sorry, that's just part of the set.
We found him.
There it
Here
goes.
he is, welcome.
It's not normally a health and safety nightmare like this.
Honestly, I'm not being funny, but the budget on this show is off the scale. Let's be honest.
The sticky wrap plastic's not working great. Don't worry, someone's going to secretly go backstage and pick that up whilst Coleen talks. Carry on.
Just ignore that. Yes, so he went on to be... He was our keyboard player in our band when I was touring with my sisters, and after 4 years, me and him split up, and he went on and became a musical director and arranger for some of the biggest stars in the world.
Wow.
And then became a conductor for like the Royal Philharmonic, and he honestly he did so well leaving me, I have to say. But yes, you do look back and think, God, I wonder how different my life would be now if we stayed together. But I do love people. I find it so gorgeous when you meet people that have been together since they were at school, or it's very rare nowadays, I think.
It is rare. It is cute, isn't it?
How about you? Do you remember your childhood sweetheart?
Do you know what? I didn't have boyfriends. I do, yeah. I don't have a childhood sweetheart. I was a bit of a late bloomer. So my first serious boyfriend wasn't until I was in university, and then I married him. And so, yeah, not a lot of background there to sort of divulge. And then after we parted ways, I met Ro, and then I married him. So I've had two serious relationships in my life.
Well, you're making me feel like a right old slapper now, so thanks for that, Storm.
And how did that sort of work, sort of, when you finished with your first husband and stuff? Did you sort of feel like at the start, though, of course, you'd be together for forever, despite not having loads of boyfriends beforehand?
Yeah, you know, and I think that's the thing about falling in love when you're younger. You don't necessarily know what love is. Yeah. So I thought it was love. And you go through the motions then, and, you know, you move in together, and then you buy a cat or a dog, and then you might buy a house, and then before you know it, you're getting married and having children. But thankfully, I didn't get that far. But he's a really lovely guy, but I did get to a point during those many years where I realised, actually, is this what it's all about?
And you were probably working, because you were working in television. That's really demanding, isn't it?
Super demanding.
And so you're working all the hours, he's working all the hours.
Exactly, 100%. And that was also a life lesson.
Do you still stay in touch with him?
You know what? No, not because anything, you know, that had ended badly. It didn't end really well. But I think, you know, I moved to this side of the world, and I think he's off in New York or something now. But you just kind of drift apart, don't you? Because we don't have anything to connect us, no children.
I think if you marry a childhood sweetheart, you're lucky if it lasts the course in a way, because you evolve. When you think about how much you change from being a teenager yourself through to being the age that we are now, if you can kind of, you know, evolve at the same pace with that person, great. But a lot of people just do that, don't they?
Yeah. So, Charlene, come on.
Oh, with mine?
Come on.
Well,
sitting there all quiet.
Well, I wouldn't really say childhood sweetheart, but the first boy I ever really dated became my best friend, and then I was his best man at his wedding, because we, you know, before the times of mobile phones, and you'd be sort of hiding underneath the quill at home with the landline. It's like, call me once, I'll answer the phone, and you'd be sort of chatting away, and we'd chat for hours and hours and hours. And I just remember driving down his road with my dad driving the car, and I spotted him in the most awful red jacket. And I just remember the car going past, and I just thought, no, no, this whole start does not work for me. And I actually, for the life of me, I can't remember if I actually told him that or if I just, what the young people now call
Well, he knows
ghosting.
now.
Well, he does. He does know now. And I think we had like a period that was a bit awkward, and then realised actually we spoke for hours and hours on the phone because we get on really well, actually.
Oh, that's cute.
And there was no romantic connection really at all. And he's been my best mate ever since.
I love that.
And that's way
very
back since
sweet.
we were 16 years old. So
That's
you know,
really
and
nice.
it's
That's
lovely.
really
But how about you? How about your loss? Your
Well, I dated somebody I was at school with for, I don't know, a year or two. But I don't know, I just always knew I wasn't going to stay in that town. I was always going to come to London. That was always my plan. And he still lives in the town. So I kind of left the town, and so he was sort of left behind in the town.
Yeah.
you went to the big city and followed your dreams,
I
Jane.
did. Look at that.
Literally like an American Netflix sitcom.